Hello, my name is Doug Wilson with the City of Cedar Rapids. I'm here today to talk to you about the project we will be doing next year on Cottage Grove Southeast between First Avenue and Forest Drive. Today we will be reviewing the project goals and talking about the final design. Also be summarizing the neighborhood outreach we have done with this project and the changes we have made based on that feedback. And finally, we will talk about the project timeline for next year and the next steps for you to contact us if you have any further questions. So to reiterate the project goals, the main thing is to replace the failed pavement on the street. Along with that, we will also be able to improve the signal timing at First Avenue and Cottage Grove, improve drainage along the street by adding intakes and meeting current design standards for drainage. And as with every project, we look at creating a safer, more accessible environment for all users, including pedestrians and bicyclists. Today, we've done quite a bit of outreach with this project. We've met with Washington High School several times before the COVID-19 pandemic. We met with Cottage Grove Place back in February and did another presentation to them in March. We've talked to the Homeowners Association president at Sutherland Square back in February. We've been corresponding with the folks at Plaza 2 throughout the project. We've also had several neighborhood plan updates, met with small groups of residents, and the project website has been available for everyone to look at throughout the development of the project plan. The first thing we did based on feedback from the neighborhood was look again at how to preserve trees in the corridor along Cottage Grove. To make that possible, we relocated some sidewalk to save the trees that remain following the derecho. We are narrowing the road to preserve green space and reduce stormwater runoff. We are also including Cottage Grove in the citywide replanting initiative that we are going forward with in the spring and fall of next year. Another thing that people were concerned about was on-street parking. Heard a lot of feedback about eliminating all of the on-street parking. Because we will be significantly narrowing the road, there will be a lot less on-street parking when we get done. We did hear feedback from other people in the neighborhood who want us to maintain some on-street parking. So in that regard, we have reduced the on-street parking from approximately 40 spaces to just 10. Those 10 spaces will be between the Plaza 2 driveway and the Cottage Grove Place drive just to the west. Another concern we heard from area residents was how pedestrians and bicyclists would interact on this part of Cottage Grove. The original plan called for a trail along Cottage Grove Place based on the long-term trail master plan that was approved in 2012 and updated in 2015. This part of Cottage Grove will include a trail segment that connects the Seymour Trail to the Sac and Fox Trail. And along with that Seymour Sac and Fox connection, the Sac and Fox Trail extension will also connect to the proposed Lincoln Trail, which will connect Cedar Rapids to Mount Vernon. This trail is part of an overall master plan that improves connectivity throughout the metro area. So to address concerns, we decided to separate the two paths instead of having one shared path. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is how we will treat the intersection of Cottage Grove and Forest Drive. The original conceptual plan included turning this into a roundabout to improve function and operation. However, based on feedback from the neighborhood, we will continue to have this as a four-way stop. This slide shows the planned layout for the street, incorporating comments and changes based on feedback from the neighborhood. As you can see, we still have off-street bicycle accommodations, but we've separated the pedestrians from the bicyclists. This allows all users to be accommodated within the corridor. People who are comfortable riding their bike can still ride their bike on the street, but for families and less experienced riders, they do have the option of using the 8-foot path. And of course, we separate the pedestrians from the bicyclists to improve safety. Many people wonder why we don't just leave the bicyclists on the street. Well, one of the things we are doing with the project is significantly narrowing the street because it doesn't need all that on-street parking that's there now. That's another thing that people didn't want, was on-street parking. So we've reduced it significantly while still accommodating some of the people who wanted to have on-street parking remain in some way. As I said earlier, the on-street parking is reduced from about 40 spots now to 10. Just to reiterate our project timeline, we started the design last October and public outreach started in January of this year. The project was substantially complete for design in October of 2020. And right now we expect the project to be constructed in 2021 and then go on and complete the project between Forest Drive and 34th Street in 2022. Expect additional information from the city before construction starts. This will include who to contact during the construction phase of the project, who from the city will be on site most of the time that you can talk to, and also who the contractor will be and when we expect the project to start and be finished. You can also sign up for a project newsletter by emailing pavingforprogress@cedarrapids.org. We send out updates during the construction phase every 2 weeks. And again, thank you for taking the time to view this video. And we are available for contact and discussion further on the project if you have questions. You can email, phone, or request a Zoom call online at www.cityofcedarrapids.com/virtualpublicworks. And of course, we're always available to talk to you directly, or you can talk with the city project manager, Karen Key. Thank you again for taking the time to view this video, and we look forward to having a successful project completed next year.